ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Skyline of Skyline Outdoors. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Elite Impulse 34. Obviously this is 34 inches axle to axle. It's more meant to be a speed bow. It's got a 6-inch brace height. This is my actual first ever Elite. Decided, since they're a company based out of New York, which is where I'm from, I give them a try. I always heard the hype about them being the smoothest drawing bows out there and having the best back wall. So I got this. I've had this bow to shoot for about a month. Needless to say, I'm actually trading it tomorrow. Hence the reason why I'm doing my review indoors today. Upstate New York, the wind is about 50 miles per hour outside, so I doubt you'll be able to hear me. This in particular bow is done up in the QU Verde Camel finish, which is probably the best camel I've ever seen. I don't know if you can see that. We'll get a better close-up on that when I'm shooting it, but this camouflage is actually amazing. Just had the bow super tuned by my man Ian, the bow guru over in Helm Pat, New York. If you live in this area, definitely go check him out. He probably does the best super tuning possible. Also, this is not the stock strings that come on it. This is an aftermarket JBK strings. Best strings I've ever had. That guy's amazing. Quick turnaround. And the only string maker that I know of that offers a 2-year warranty. That's ridiculous. Shooting an Elite QAD HDX rest on it. Bee Stinger stabilizer, I believe it's a 10-inch version. And this has the Montana Black Gold ambush sight. Ascent ambush. It's a single pin, goes up and down. It's great. Alright, for the specs here, so I remember everything. Alright, like I said, it's 34 inches axle to axle, 6-inch brace, 4.4 pounds. It is a little bit on the heavy side. They offer it in 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 80 pound limbs, so pretty much anybody could shoot this bow. The IBO ratings is kind of confusing with this one. In the number 1 mod, 31 inch, it'd be 347 to 350. The number 2 mod, 30.5 inch, 342 to 345. Number 3, 30 inch was the actual IBO, 337 to 340. Number 4, 29.5, 332 to 335. Number 5, 29 inch, 327 to 330. Number 6, 28.5, 322 to 325. Number 7, 28 inch draw length, 317 to 320. Number 8, which is what I got on here, 27.5 inch draw length, 312 to 315. Number 9, 27 inch draw length, which is the shortest it offers, 307 to 310. I actually did have a 355 grain arrow, which was pretty close to IBO. I was shooting about 305 with that, so it did come in a little bit under IBO, which wasn't bad. I'm kind of happy with that. Like I said, this is the QU Verde Camo. They also offer the Bias Camo, which was awesome. Realtree Extra, Realtree Max 1, Realtree Snow, just a regular black. Then they got the target colors blue, green, red, orange, pink, purple, and titanium. They do have the new and improved riser cage design on this. This offers more stability and balance at the shot, which I found was awesome. Still got your limb savers, and it's got a pro coat finish on it. Speaking on the finish, it's absolutely flawless on the bow, on the limbs, but I do got to say, in the month that I've had this, I had a little chip on the cams. They are known for having pretty crappy quality cams that chip a lot, kind of like the Boat Tech limbs, I guess you would say, from 2010 to like 2013. They had that limb issue. They're kind of going through a cam issue with whatever they're using to finish these cams. You can barely see it. It is a tiny nick right up here. You probably can't even catch that on the camera, but it is there. Like I said, a month. I barely shot this thing outside. I mainly used it for, I did shoot a lot of 3D with it, which I do gotta say this is the best 3D bow I've ever shot. Alright, onto the grip here. I do gotta say I do hate the grip. This offers the, this is the stock Elite grip. They offer a V grip, which is the Victory grip, which usually comes on the Victory bow. Started on the Victory bow, which is a target bow. This right here, I found that it was never comfortable in my hand. It had a lot of torque with it, which I could clearly tell. I ended up taking off this, but since I'm actually trading the boat tomorrow, I put it back on just to show you guys. I just shot with a glove off the riser. In all actuality, if I could do it over again, I'd order this bow with the V-grip. Looks 10 times better. I never shot it, but I'm more of a PSE type grip, thin grip. I like that better. I find that it has less torque, and this one, in my opinion, just sucked. A lot of people love them. Me personally, in my opinion, I hated it. That's why I was shooting off the riser with a glove on. I found it to be way more consistent and actually more comfortable shooting off the riser. Let's see here, what else could I talk about this bow? I'll do a couple shots, but since it's so windy out, I actually have to shoot inside my house, which is kind of sketchy, so I'm only going to do it a few times. On that note, just previous experience shooting this bow, I would say that it balances the best, 34-inch axle to axle. It's a little bit better balanced than a shorter ATA bow that you would use for hunting per se. You obviously can shoot this for hunting. It's definitely not too tall for hunting. You could definitely hunt in a ground blind or a tree stand with this. The draw cycle, that kind of threw me off. Like I said, Elite, it's my first Elite. I was expecting something a little bit more smooth, a little bit easier to hold back. It was actually a little bit jumpy, not horrible. I've had some PSEs that were way worse than that. But the 6-inch brace height, you know, the speed comes from somewhere, and that's what you got to expect. I would say the worst part about this bow, other than the grip, there is a hump before it dumps into the valley. It starts off real easy and then it builds up, but it builds up very intense right before it lets off, which I actually hate, and I probably would not recommend this bow as a hunting bow just because of that. It's not horrific. I've definitely shot way worse bows, but like I said, I was expecting a little bit more coming from an Elite. Their whole entire thing is shootability. Definitely shootable, but I actually shot my PSC DNA right after I shot this bow for about 3 weeks, and I was blown away of how much smoother actually that PSC was compared to this. On that note, I will be comparing, I'm actually trading this bow for a Mathews Halon 6. That's going to be the comparison for this bow. Also in the future I will be doing this bow right here, which is a PSC Momentum. It's actually my buddy's bow. I'm going to be doing a quick bow review on that one as well. Alright, let's give it a few shots here so you guys can see noise, vibration, and I can explain how it is through the draw-on shot here. Alright, I'm going to get a close-up on the bow so you can see the actual finish of it. Like I said, flawless through here. Let me see if I can show you that little chip in the cam. It's really nothing. It just looks like it got caught on something. I don't know, but for a 1-month-old bow, it definitely should not happen already. Never been hunting, never been in the woods. This thing is basically brand new here. You can see the threads that JBK did. Flawless, awesome. He matched it with the camo. This is the stock string that comes with it. I probably would have kept that on, but I don't know, I kind of shied away from stock strings. I hate them. Regardless of the company, I always try to put some JBK or Breathe In or something like that onto the bow. Alright. Again, this is kind of sketchy. I'm shooting inside my dining room right now, into my kitchen. Don't worry, there's no kids or animals around at this moment. Alright, here we go. Hope I don't shoot anything besides the target. Right there. Alright. Extremely, extremely on target, accurate. Doesn't want to move. There's zero, and I mean zero pin flow with this. Like I said, for 3D, this bow is the best I've ever shot. Tiny, tiny bit of vibration in the hand. Other than that, it just sits there. I would say it's a tiny, tiny bit top heavy. It does want to tip a little bit, but I've had way worse. When you shoot, most of the time the bow's going to go like this. This pretty much just sits there. It does tilt forward just a tiny bit. This time I'm going to go a little bit slower, and I'm going to try to let it down so you guys can see. Alright, it's pretty smooth through here. Right here it builds up. Ridiculous. Like I said, it's a decent back wall. Not what I was expecting. I'm going to try to let this down here. So our hunting situation, that, you know, that's a lot of movement right there. It's 80% let off, which is nice, but I have had a few times after shooting, your arm starts to get tired. It does want to jerk forward on you, kind of like a PSE. It's nothing that I can't handle. I've had a lot worse with speed bows. Now listen up. Most of the noise you're hearing is the arrow hitting the target because it's so close. I mean, I'm only shooting maybe 7-8 yards right now. As you see, I pretty much just sat there. There's a tiny bit of shock, really nothing noticeable. The stabilizer definitely helped that out a lot. I had a cheap stabilizer on here before that, and even when I shot it without a stabilizer, it was definitely a lot more. And a lot could be coming from the sight. I do have a lens in the sight, so who knows, that could be causing some of the vibration I'm feeling and hearing. It is a pretty quiet bow. Alright, let's do one more here. So watch the draw cycle again. Right there. Other than that, it does stay pretty solid at the back wall though. It's not bad. I'll watch the bow after the shot. A little tiny bit of jump. Not bad. I would imagine the 31-inch model of this probably jumps a little bit more. Obviously, there's less weight on that. 4.4 pounds. I've held another bow. I think it was the Bowtech RPM that felt a lot heavier than this one. Same weight, around the same weight anyways. And I think the Halon is at 4.5. So we'll see the comparison. That's only a 30-inch axle, so you're getting 4 more inches, which should help balance the bow better, you know. But I mean, I just hate this grip. I can't say it enough. I really hate that grip. It's not repeatable. It's uncomfortable to me. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me, but a month came and went and it didn't. So if I shot it more, I just like to try new things and do some bow reviews for you guys. So I'm going to try the Halon next. I don't know. I'll give you guys my opinion on this. Overall, I would say through the draw, I'd probably say the draw was not what I expected. I'd only give the draw about a 7 because of that hump. I'd actually almost rather have a bow that was tougher up front and got easier as it goes back and is easier to let down. 80% let off, you know, you might not get that though. So I'd probably only give the draw about a 7 out of 10. I'd give the grip a low score because I hate it. The V grip I think would be a whole nother story. I'd only give that like a 4. Balance, I give the balance of this bow a 10 out of 10. That's amazing balance. Accuracy a 10 out of 10. And then at the shot with vibration and sound level, I'd probably say an 8 out of 10. It's not too bad. Overall, I'd say, once again, best bow I've ever shot for 3D. I had some pretty good scores. I'd say a 7 out of 10. For a hunting bow, I think there's definitely better hunting bows that came out this year, 2016. We'll find out when I shoot that Halon 6 that we're putting this one up against. So Mathews versus Elite. Again, this is my first Elite, so I can't judge it off the other bows, but I would imagine a bow like the Synergy is going to be a little bit easier to draw and hold back. Again, it's a speed bow. So for a speed bow, it's not that bad. It's not harsh. Just not exactly what I was expecting from an Elite. But if you think about it from another standpoint, you know, not name brand wise, just the specs on this bow, you do have to expect something of it wanting to be a little bit jumpy. It wasn't bad though. It really wasn't bad. So my honest review, my honest opinion, a 7 out of 10. We'll see if the Halon 6 could beat that. Again, 6-inch brace height versus 6-inch brace height. Speed bow versus speed bow. I'm unbiased. I'm rocking the Elite hat right now, but I am unbiased, and if anything, I'm more of a PSE guy than anything. So today I'm going to be doing my review of the Mathews Halon 6. In a previous review, I did the Elite Impulse 34. I'm going to be doing a comparison of them after I review this one and give you my honest opinion. Remember, I'm not sponsored by any name brand, so I don't care about actual name brand. I'm not a fanboy of any name brand. And in fact, when it comes to Mathews, I honestly have never liked them. But I can honestly say, in my own opinion, that this is definitely the most accurate bow I've ever shot. So let me get that out of the way first and foremost. Alright, the Mathews Halon 6. It also comes in a 5 and 7-inch brace height version. This is obviously a 6-inch brace height. So you got the Halon 5, the Halon 6, and the Halon 7, all shooting different brace heights and different IBO speeds. The Halon 6 produces 345 feet per second IBO. 30 inches axle to axle, so it's a nice short and sweet hunting bow. But I can tell you, The balance on this thing is great for 3D as well. That's what I've been using it for. It features a cross-eccentric cam system. It kind of looks like they took last year's Mathews no cam and they cut a little slice out of it to make it much faster, but you're definitely not sacrificing any accuracy, if any. This thing weighs 4.5 pounds, so it is a little bit on the heavier side for bow when it comes to other bows that I've shot this year, or even in the past. I mean, I'm used to something that's like 3.9, 4, 4.1, 4.2. Like a lot of the Bowtechs that I love, they really average 4.2, 4.3. It's really not that noticeable though. So yeah, this one has the Lost Camo Edition, camouflage. That's the Lost Camo XD. They also have another kind of camo that's also a Lost Camo. It looks more like the snow camo. It's a little bit lighter than this one right here. They also feature a black and a stone gray color, which are pretty sweet. That stone gray, if I could do it all over again, I'd definitely make the purchase of that. Another good addition, aside from the cross-eccentric cam system and these awesome cams, is the flat back grip. A lot of people have said that they love it. A lot of people said that they hate it. And I'm here to tell you right now that there's almost no torque at all with this grip. You could zoom in on that and I can show you what I'm talking about right here. It's very smooth, it's very repeatable. My hand is never getting hung up on this like they do with some of those stupid rubber grips, which I don't understand why companies even still do that, because your hand's supposed to slide right into this pocket every single time for repeatable accuracy. You can't stay consistent if your hand's getting caught up here and then up here and then down here. That happens with a rubber grip a lot. And that's one knock that I had on that Elite, was I absolutely hated the grip. This is 100% turnaround. Alright folks, it's pretty much go over the stuff I have on this right now. It's a Q80 rest. I got a nice wristling made for color matching. It's got some aftermarket dampeners, not really aftermarket, just a different color to spice it up a little bit, make it look a little sexy there. I also got the black gold ambush ascent, or ascent ambush. It's a 1-pin movable sight, and just a cheap Carbon Express stabilizer, because I can tell you I had a longer bee stinger on there. I started off with a 12-inch, went down to the 10-inch, and I found myself even more accurate with a short, cheap stabilizer, because honestly you don't even need a stabilizer. That's how well this bow bounces, and I think partially that is because it is 4.5 pounds. A lot of bows are not that, and you need to add weight. You don't need to add weight to this, I'm telling you right now. So let's stop it for a minute. We're going to go over here and we're going to shoot a couple arrows through this thing, and I can give you guys a nice take on what it feels like to draw this and after the shot. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Skyline, right back at you, ready to shoot this Halon 6. I'm watching Skyline TV. Once again, that's Skyline TV, Skyliners Outdoors, baby. Alright. Now we're getting ready to shoot this thing. Once again, I just want to go over that's a 30-inch axle-to-axle bow. Most people are going to take this as a hunting bow. But like I said before, it's, like I said in my previous episode, that I thought that the Elite Impulse 34 was probably the best 3D bow. That is in fact incorrect, because this has most certainly taken that spot. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and shoot this thing. 30 inches, axle to axle, 4.5 pounds, 6-inch brace height, 345 feet per second IBO, cross-eccentric cam system. Here we go. Alright. Alright, balancing the hand. I shortened it up with this tiny stabilizer. Started out with a 12-inch, went to a 10-inch bee stinger, and now I got this little tiny 6-inch Carbon Express cheapo one here. Why? Because it really doesn't need that much weight to balance this thing out. It is a little bit top heavy, which is what the other stabilizers were helping with. But as far as sound and vibration go, it really doesn't make much of a difference, because this virtually has no sound at the shot. I wish you guys could hear that a little bit closer, but I'll wait till this car passes by and I'll go ahead and I'll draw this thing for you. Alright, here we go. Very smooth, a little bit stiff up front, but nothing I can't handle. Hang on, let's shoot this. Alright, you see it did tilt forward a little bit. Like I said, it's a tad bit top heavy there at 4.5 pounds. It is a little bit heavy for a hunting bow. Anybody can handle that, unless you're a serious pansy ass. But in my opinion, that's why I did kind of lighten everything up. The sight's a little bit heavy on this, but I had it rigged out for a 3D bow to begin with, but now it's most definitely overcome the DNA that I was shooting for my hunting bow. The DNA is much shorter, probably better for if I'm walking a long distance to the stand or something like that, but mostly where I hunt up in the Northeast here, it's not bad at all. It's not too much of a far walk. As I drew that back, like I said, it's a little bit stiff up front, probably about the same as the Elite Impulse 34, but it breaks into the valley much more gradual, I'll say. It's much smoother coming in the valley. With the Impulse, it was, you're coming back, and then unbearably hard to get over this big hump, and then it just drops off. We'll go ahead and we'll shoot another one here. Alright. Like I said, very smooth. It holds on target better than any bow I've ever shot. Alright, one more here. Do one more for you guys, just so I could express how much I truly do love to shoot this bow. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I was a Mathews hater. Alright. Well, as far as ratings go, guys, overall, I'm going to give it to you guys like this. This is tied with my favorite bow of all time. And that's saying a lot. Because like I said, I've always hated Mathews. I've always looked at them more like they're an advertising company than an actual archery company. I find that not to be true now. They definitely changed my mind with one bow. And that's this one right here, guys. I didn't get to shoot the note cam. I really wanted to. It was a little bit too slow for me for hunting. But if it's anything like this, I'm sure I would have loved it. But that goes to show you can't really be a fanboy in this day and age, because every manufacturer makes awesome bows now. What else could I say about it here? I'm going to give the draw of this thing a 9 out of 10. The only knock on it was that it was a little bit stiff up front, but it is a speed bow, guys. It's 345 feet per second. Let's not forget about that. Alright, so that is a little bit expected. I'll give the back wall. The back wall could have been a little bit more solid, like some of the Bowtechs or older Elites there. I'll give that a 9 out of 10 because it was a decent back wall. Wasn't the best I've ever shot. What else? As far as sound goes, give it a 10 out of 10. It was super quiet. Vibration, I can only give the vibration portion of this an 8 out of 10, only because I don't feel much in my hands, but you feel it throughout the riser. It's almost like what I call the Mathews aftershock. I shot the Chill R, and that, it felt exactly the same. After you shot, it's almost like a wobble that, goes up through the bow, and you definitely feel that. It's almost like a ringing afterwards, Like after you hit like a drum cymbal, you hear the ringing well afterwards. That's almost what it feels like. Nothing I'm concerned about. The deer ain't gonna know that after I smoke them. The grip, did I already say the grip? I said the grip? I didn't say the grip. The grip. That's what I hated the most about the Elite, was that grip, other than that huge hump before the dump into the valley. I'll give this grip. It almost pains me to do this because I hated Mathews 2x4 wooden grips before. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this grip right here a 9.5. This is one of the most comfortable grips I've ever felt. Probably is the most comfortable grip I've ever felt. This reminds me of the aftermarket torqueless grips. Not because of how they're shaped, but how comfortable they are. My favorite is the PSE grips, because they're so thin. And you always want your hand to fit into that pocket, like I was saying, and this definitely does that. It's very repeatable. So overall, guys, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to rate this bow a solid, and I mean a solid 9.5 out of 10. The only knock on it is that it's 4.5 pounds. It's a little bit top heavy, and it doesn't have that 10 out of 10 back wall that I was hoping for. But it does have 85% let off, so you can hold this thing all day. I mean, it's not like it's trying to creep forward at all. So don't get it twisted. This is a 9.5 out of 10 type of bow right here. The Bowtech Experience is the only one that rivals this within the last 5 years, I gotta say. And I can honestly say, Mathews Halon 6, the 2016 bow of the year, in my opinion, for hunting and 3D. I don't even care. You can get those longer ATA bows. This is better than that. I honestly just proved it. I wish I could show you guys the shots, the side-by-side comparison of them. But this is much, much better as far as accuracy goes, as far as the draw goes, as far as shootability. There you go. There's a word for you, my elite fanboys. The Mathews is the #1 shootability bow out there, if that even makes sense. It's much more shootable than the Elite Impulse 34. I'm going to retract the whatever rating I gave it, the 7 out of 10. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change my mind on that one because this one's so much better. I'm going to give that Elite Impulse 34 a 6.5 out of 10. This one right here gets the 9.5. Obviously, the Mathews Halon 6 2016 Bow Champion of the Year. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, next you guys are going to be seeing me in the woods.